What is up, everybody? Grant Wise here. Welcome to the Marketing Genius Podcast. I am so excited today to be joined by the one and only Mrs. Lauren Taylor, who is just awesome. And so today we're going to jump into her story and kind of how she got to where she is. And we're going to talk about marketing and sales and mindset and all of the crazy things that she's done in the last few years that have kind of gotten her to where she is today. So Lauren, thank you so much for stopping by the show.
Oh, always. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, let's get into it. Who is Lauren Taylor? How'd you get to where you are today?
Oh, who the heck is Lauren Taylor? No one knows, really. She's an enigma. Just so how did I get to where I am today? So I love marketing and branding. And I think that as I've really grown into myself and really identified who I want to work with, my marketing, my branding has become so much stronger in all my businesses across the board. So I actually started in financial advising. Then a couple years later, after the market fell out, which was like right when I got licensed, I transitioned to real estate. And so right coming in, I knew that I wanted to be able to really kind of step up on the consumer funnel, right? So a lot of the real estate agents, they want to work with you like right when you want to buy or sell a house. Well, for me, I started to build my brand off of education and empowering the consumer, whether you want to work with me or not. Educated consumers are better consumers, right? And I really just built my brand off of that. I mean, real estate has a huge fallout rate. We lose like 50% of our agents in the first year. And people always ask me, like, what's the difference between you and that 50%? Because I broke into the top of my market in like 18 months. It's marketing. It's marketing. It's branding. I think I've used this example with you before, Grant, right? If you're standing at the grocery store and you're looking at an aisle of toothpaste, and you're trying to decide what toothpaste that you want to buy, unless you have brand loyalty, it's overwhelming. There's like 3,000 options. And that's, for you and your business, any business that you're in, whether that's, sales or service. I mean, the difference between someone choosing you versus those 2,099 others is marketing and branding. It's how well you can appeal to them and the consumer. So for me and my business, I built my client base off of education, identified my personal consumer that I wanted to work with, and it worked so well for me here in San Diego that I actually took two of the activities I was doing to support my clients and expanded them into national brands, and now other people are benefiting from that marketing and branding as well.
That is awesome. So riddle me this: the average Joe, and I know you're not the average real estate agent, is so afraid of what somebody would do with their quote unquote secret sauce or their trade secrets, or when it comes to buying and selling a home, they're so protective over the process. But you said, kind of screw that. I'm going to do it a little bit differently. Like, what made you so comfortable that you felt like you could share, some of what most people consider their proprietary knowledge, and how did you see a difference in the consumer? I think you said a second ago, educated consumers are better consumers, but what made you want to share that when everybody else is saying, oh, don't tell people how to do our job?
Oh man, that's such a loaded comment. Okay, so here's the thing. Like, our industry is so flipped on its head. It's like, if I keep what makes me different and makes me special and benefits my clients to myself, then people have to come to me to get that information, right? It's almost like why we lock away the MLS. Like, they have to come to us to get the information. Whereas in what we've found is that agents are so scared to tell their value proposition, the consumers don't even know what it is anymore. Like, we have literally become such a scarcity mindset, right? That we don't want to tell people what we do that's going to benefit them, that people don't even know anymore what we do that benefits them. That is mind-blowing. And so the way I talk to my agents about this is that, if you have something special, first of all, what do you do that's different that benefits your clients? The biggest issue in our industry is the majority of agents don't know. And so the first thing you have to do is figure it out. Is what you do that benefits your clients and how you put that into words, right? And then secondly, is that should be the first thing you say to every single person. Because if you put that at the end of your funnel, like, oh, wow, it's so nice to meet you. I hope I can work with you. This is going to be amazing. Let me tell you what really matters. What would happen in your business if you just started with, hey, I think I can make a pretty massive impact in your decision-making process. Do you have a minute to talk? It's like the whole idea, like, one candle can light a million without burning out their flame. Like, if I for instance, virtual house hunting, right? So I created a methodology. You go out to the homes with 360 cameras. You create a video, opposed to taking people to the property, and it created a like drop dead value proposition that no one else could compete with. But if I just keep that to myself, I'm not going to be able to build a stable and consistent pipeline of clients through like whispers in the dark. You have to be able to stand on a platform and yell out what you do that's different. And if someone else copies it, like whatever, there's so many fish in the sea, it does not matter. There's so much market share out there to be taken. There is only one you. You just have to do it to your most authentic self. And that is quite frankly what makes the difference.
Yeah, those are some great points. And you're talking about using your platform. Some people listening to this might be like, well, I don't have a platform. I know like 5 people and I got my license last week. How do I go out there and build a platform? So how have you, looking back, what were some of the things that you did to build a brand and to build a platform where you actually felt like your voice mattered?
Yeah. So I had this really amazing business coach that taught me about the consumer awareness funnel. And what I did is I saw where everyone else was starting. I took a step forward. So I wanted to build my brand in military relocation. My husband was Navy at the time. I figure if the average homeowner, owns their home for 13 years, the average military family owns their home for 4, and they're coming no matter what, right? So it's like, there's like a drop dead point here as to whether or not this person should purchase a home. And it's also like super highly stressful. And I'm a high touch agent, if you will. I can provide some ease during that time through high customer service. But what I found is that there was like this drop dead point where all these agents only wanted to help them when it was going to directly benefit them. Meaning, I'm like, you want to buy a house? Oh, no, you want to go into base housing. Oh, sorry, can't help you with that. Good luck. But then those people who wanted to go base housing, what would happen is they find out that there's a 6-month waiting list for base housing. And no crap, so I guess we're going to rent a house. Oh no, honey, they don't rent houses to people with multiple pets in San Diego. Oh crap, I guess we're going to have to buy a home. And do you think they're going to go back to that agent that was like, good luck? No, absolutely not. You have to create a brand based on service that's going to fulfill the needs of people who cannot directly use your service at that time. Otherwise, you're just throwing away potential clients. So if you think of like the funnel, I'm all about my hands, right? So if you think about the funnel, what I did is I created my brand to catch people who are outside my funnel, to increase the people who could potentially buy or sell with me.
So let's dumb this down just a little bit. What is a funnel? I know everybody, if you're looking at this and you saw our hands, you know what a funnel is, but when we're in the
money shot right here.
When we're in the real estate marketing space, or we're in digital marketing or social advertising, what is a funnel? Could you give me just a kindergarten version of what a funnel is?
A funnel is any way that you promote your market or brand to drive consumers to you. Your funnel could be a monthly in-person networking event. Every month, I go to this networking event, I get business cards, I follow up with those business cards, they know me as an agent. Your funnel could be mailing 5,000 mailers a month, a very steep expense to you. It could be Facebook ads. It could be an organic growth strategy through different posts and different social media brands. It could be getting followers on Instagram. And the biggest error that I think that I see in the real estate funnel is that they try to grapple over a space that is over dominated and over. So in military relocation, it's really easy to tell where that space gets very crowded, right? Because once someone comes to San Diego, it's like, oh my gosh, now I'm competing with 21,000 licensed real estate agents. So what if I could just get them before they came to San Diego, where I'm only competing with the 3 agents in San Diego that they know of? Wouldn't that be like much more effective marketing strategy? Absolutely. So what I want to challenge people to do is that they place their ads and our marketing so close to where the consumer is making a decision. There's no time for that consumer to make a relationship with you. And so you have to, it's just so intense to beat out other people at that point. Versus if you were to focus your marketing and branding strategies one step forward, one step earlier than your competition in your area, it may take a little bit longer because naturally you're a little bit further away from the decision-making process, but the sales become easier, the relationships become stronger, the referrals become more, because you're building a foundation, not just collecting people that fall outside of other people's marketing.
Awesome. I think, and some of what you just explained kind of leads into my next question. I think I caught it, but I don't know that everybody did, which was, what is a client awareness funnel? You hinted at that a little bit ago, but what does that mean? And I know that you just kind of went into it, but for everybody listening, like, what does that mean to you? What is a client awareness funnel, and how could I put one in my business?
That's a great question. How do I explain this? So, okay. I have a great example. I'm not going to use real estate as an example. I just got a dog. His name is Bacon. He's a 2-year-old Basset Hound. He's amazing. I'll post a picture in the show comments. Right. So, Bissell carpet cleaner all of a sudden starts coming up on my Facebook page. Not because all of a sudden Lauren wants to clean her carpets, but because Lauren just got a dog, and dogs have accidents and dogs are messy. Right. So a consumer marketing funnel, gosh, it helps consumers identify the problem before they kind of even know it's a problem, if that makes sense. And the further down in that problem it gets, the more concentrated it gets in sales. So if we were to translate that to real estate, right? The first thing I say is, I'm not sitting here today and it's like, I want to buy a house. No. The first thing I think is, I have to move. Is my lease up? Am I saving? Is my credit better? Whatever it is, my first thought is, I have to move, right? So if you meet people that I want to buy a house, then you are missing out on 3 significant steps before them to earn their trust. You want to meet people at, I have to move.
I think that's a great explanation. And I'm going to hit you with some psychology here now, because if you're telling me that I shouldn't focus so much on maybe some of the low-hanging fruit and I should build more relationships, which I think is paramount to the success of any realtor, how do I get over that immediate gratification? Like, I want deals now. What do I do, Lauren? How do I table my incessant need to just chase commission checks, because that's what everybody's telling me to do? How do I do that?
You got to get over it, quite frankly. I mean, we're not in a business where you work to get paid tomorrow. We're in a business where you work to get paid in 60 days. The work that you do today will benefit you in August. Okay. So if you're in this business and you think that it's a quick sell, I have seen so many iBuyer tools, so many agents think that this is a quick, easy close business, and they lose out and they're gone before you know it. This is a business about laying foundations, and the average lead, no matter where it's coming from, sphere of influence, internet marketing, anything, is going to be a 60 to 90 day close from point of conversation. Okay. So if you find someone that's sooner than that, bless your heart, that's a blessing, but don't consider that your everyday standard. You have to build the foundation understanding that these clients traditionally take 60 and 90 days for you to get paid. And there's a lot of things that can go wrong in the in-between.
Lots. Lots and lots and lots of stuff. Okay, so I just want to kind of run back through this really quick. If I'm understanding you correctly, there's really like 3, 4, maybe 5 steps to building a system like this in your business that, helps you build a brand, build relationships, generate customers, all those different types of things. And if I heard you correctly, the first thing that you got to do is you got to know who you want to work with. Like, you've got to carve out a niche, right?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
What are just like 2 to 3 things that I could do to carve out a niche? For you, it seemed like it was personal. How do I do it if it's not personal, or how do I identify that?
So I love this question. If you're already in the business, this is what you do. And this is an activity that I regularly have my agents do. I want you to go back to your business you did last year. Okay. And I want you to make a list of all the clients that you close deals with. Okay. And there's 2 questions that you need to ask yourself. Did I make money from this client? And did I enjoy working with this client? All right. And it's black and white. It's not like, oh, well, I mean, they were a little tough to work with, but it was a $1.3 million house. No, I don't care how much money. I'm not asking how much money you made. I'm asking, did you make money? So did you make money with this client, and did you enjoy working with them? And then I want you to go back through, and let's say there's 10 out of 20 that you enjoyed working with, that you made money from. And I want you to identify the characteristics that those people shared. Maybe they were first-time home buyers. Maybe they were someone who bought or sold a home and bought a home. Maybe it was divorced women. Maybe they were probate sales. Maybe they were foreclosures. There's going to be 2 to 3 characteristics that all of those people have in common. Maybe they came from your sphere of influence. Maybe you just love referrals, whatever it is, right? And you want to build your value prop. So those 2 to 3 characteristics are going to help you shape who you truly enjoy working with. And I tell my agents this is the best way to move towards a more purposeful business, okay? Because you can have money, but if you don't have happiness, then you're not going to have purpose. You have to have both. They work hand in hand in terms of building a purposeful business. So once you identify those 3 characteristics, that will help you really realize where you need to focus your time and your energy as to where did you get in front of those people, and now how can you get in front of more people like that.
Love it. That's a ton of great advice. So step 1, identify who I want to work with in the market. Step 2, now I need to kind of begin to build my brand and build a platform and really kind of get my message out into the marketplace. What are a couple of things that I could do to go out there and really start to add value to my new ideal customer?
So I think you need to identify what's valuable to them. Like, what's their pain points? Where are people not serving them? Where are they getting left behind? You know, they say that buying a house is more stressful than getting divorced or having a baby at this point. So like, you know, I talk a lot to my ambassadors, not necessarily about the strategic aspects of buying a home. Like, first you get pre-approved and then we house hunt and then we do this. No, a lot of it's about the emotional aspects. People are scared. People are scared to make a mistake. We're working with a generation of people who lived through 2008. They saw their parents lose their equity. They are terrified. Okay. So we have to speak to the emotional aspects of what that group of people are going through to instill and really bring trust before we can do anything else. So what I would suggest is, once you identify who those people are and what those characteristics are, is to start a campaign of maybe 3 to 4 or 5 videos of instilling trust based on what you know those people are already scared of. Maybe they don't want to talk to the lender because they're scared that their credit's bad. Maybe they don't want to talk to an agent because they still have student loans and they've been told that you can't buy a house with student loans. Maybe they don't want to talk to an agent because they don't think they have enough equity in their home to be able to buy what they're really looking for. Like, there is some sort of fear that is keeping them from moving forward. And once we can identify that fear and basically, you know, nullify it, say it's okay, you're not alone. And I use 2 tactics like this with my videos as well as in one-on-one interactions. It's something I call all the cool kids. So just to let people know, like, you're not alone. Like, buying a house is an overwhelming process and is more stressful than having a baby and getting divorced. You are not crazy that you are terrified of this process. Everyone is scared of this process. And that, to me, you see people's stress go from like 100 to like 50. It's like, whew, okay. Everyone else doesn't know how to do this anyway, right? Or either. And then the other thing I use is the presumptive close, right? You want to assume that people are going to move forward in the next step versus asking them to move forward in the next step. And through those 2 things and appealing to the emotional aspect of home buying and selling, I think you could really differentiate yourself in terms of, you know, what you're offering and your competitors.
My favorite thing that I heard you say right there was the assumptive close. I haven't heard that term in a minute. And I think you're the last person that said it, you know, a year or 2 ago.
I use it all the time.
It is one of the great closing strategies, tactics that there is.
You can use it with like your kids too. It's like, well, we're going to have broccoli for dinner. So I've already put it on your plate. You can't tell me you don't want broccoli. I've already told you I put it on your plate. So for instance, people will ask me about like buying houses, right? They're like, well, it's like, oh, we'll send me your email and then I'll send you like the steps towards buying a house. Well, the majority of people, here you go, all the cool kids, presumptive close, right? The majority of people who want to know the steps of buying a house also want to know what's available in the local market. So I set you up for a search and you'll receive an email every week letting you know what's new in your area.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I like it.
Why not? What are they going to say? No, thank you. Okay, no problem. I'll flip it off. 98% of them are like, oh, that's awesome. Can I make it only 3 or 4 bedrooms? Perfect. Super happy to help.
Yep.
And now I got them off of Zillow. Can't say the Z word on podcasts.
Cover your mouth when you say it. That's funny.
Can we bleep that later?
The dirty word. Okay, so we got to identify who our client is. We got to begin to kind of build our platform, build our brand. And what I heard you say kind of earlier is that, you know, building a relationship with that person is really kind of the most important thing that you do. And you touched on some of those things, but, you know, just give me like 2 or 3 just quick things. Like, what are a couple of tactical things that I could do to build a relationship with somebody that maybe I'm not learning in my Tom Ferry script, or so on and so forth.
Yeah.
What are just some quick things that I could do to build better relationships with people?
I mean, honestly, like empathizing. I mean, saying that, empathizing with their situation, that this is an overwhelming process, but that's like the traditional sales tactic, right? I would say in the modern world, the best thing that you can do to build trust with people is video, video, video. Like if you can put yourself on camera and people can experience being with you without you being with them, that gives them the ability to build trust without you taking time away from your business. So I have 3 kids under the age of 8 now. Grant, we've known each other, I used to say under the age of 6. They're growing up. Under the age of 8, and I have a husband who's in the Navy, right? So he's deployed 2 times before my kids even turned 5. My oldest child turned 5. And so like time is a super valuable resource. And as much as I want to bring as much value to my clients as possible, I legitimately do not have enough time to have an hour and a half buyer and seller consult 2 or 3 times a day. And if I know I need to have 10 buyer or seller consults, a week to be able to, close X amount of deals, then one of the best things I can do is to translate that experience into some sort of video experience for them where they can experience it on their own time. So traditionally when I hold my first call, it's like, great, I'm going to meet with you on Saturday, right? I want to keep bringing value like in between that time. Because I've been that agent where it's like you're meeting with them on Saturday and I came in and I signed a listing contract on Thursday. And I'm calling you up. I'm like, I'm so sorry, Jim. That's a tough one. No need to go on Saturday. Signs in the yard. It's just life, right? So, I mean, it's a dog-eat-dog world. So you want to bring as much value as possible in the in-between. And that's a great opportunity to build trust, is to create maybe like a 3 to 5 video series, starting right where we started this conversation, right with that number 1 value proposition. What do you do that's different, and why does it matter to them? Right? So if I'm on the phone with Tracy, I'm going to meet with her on Friday. It's like, great, Tracy. In the meantime, I'm going to send you a video series explaining to you probably the majority of questions that you have about the home buying process. And this will really help us spend our time together better on Saturday, right? So that way you have a baseline understanding of what the process is like and how me and my team help you with that process. And what you're really doing is indoctrinating them to already understand and appreciate what you offer. So it's a great way to bring value and build trust in the interim space, right? When you can't be there with them the entire time.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. It's great stuff. It's great advice. And it's something that everybody that's listening to this should do 1,000%. I mean, everything that you just listed off from beginning to end, from beginning of this podcast, is really just some of the greatest, most foundational, structural, basic principles that any business owner could and should implement. And so few do. And
absolutely.
It's really powerful when people take what you're saying and they implement it. As you know, I mean, as you have agents that you kind of work with, that it's incredible. The ones that get it and do it, they listen and they implement, they get incredible results. And the ones that don't. And that's it's awesome. So what are you up to now? Tell us. You've done these amazing things, but right now, like, what is going on? What you say you have agents and that you've got these people you're teaching. Like, what's going on? What are you doing?
Yeah. Okay. So, so I had here's the thing. When you create like such a solid marketing and branding program that works, right? It should be able to work without you. And that was something that I learned from a pretty amazing business mentor I had, is that, before I had built what I'm talking to you guys right now about and these strategies I put in place, the best thing I can say is that I created like a house of cards. And anytime I stepped away from my business, my house of cards would fall down. And, by translating my business into video, I was able to really replace a card with a brick, where it took such less time for me to be able to implement it that I could do so much more business to help me scale, right? But one of the beautiful things is that when you find a value proposition that works with like a very specific niche market, or just any market in general, anything that motivates people to go and puts agents or anyone in the position where they can earn an opportunity to do business, that's a very valuable thing. So I actually took a program that I started here in San Diego called San Diego PCS Pay It Forward. It was for incoming military families. Really, foundationally was built on stepping up the consumer funnel. No one wanted to help the person at the end of or everyone wanted to help someone at the end of the funnel. No one wanted to help someone at the beginning of the funnel. So that's really what our program was built on, was creating better education and transitional resources for military families. And it put me and my team on the forefront of military relocation in San Diego. And so what I actually did is my clients started coming through the system, and 2 or 3 years later, they'd be like, great, Lauren, like we're going to Pensacola. Like, where's the PCS payout for Pensacola? And I'm like, oh crap, like that doesn't exist yet. I'm like, wow, this is valuable enough to where they're coming back and they're asking for it in other areas. And that's really what motivated me to create a training program with agents. We actually partner with military spouse and veteran real estate agents all across the country near local bases to execute the program. So not only are our military families getting better incoming service, more information and resources and support, but also those agents get the opportunity to potentially create that relationship early on and build that business. So it's like, what I just asked you guys to do, like, who did you make money from and did you enjoy working with them? Like, what I did is completely rolled out on a national level, and now I just have the best job in the world because I'm able to help all these ambassadors, help all these agents build their business to do that, right, to help people. But there are 20,000 military families in our network from over the last 12 months who have found us, who have been helped or touched by the program. And like, to me, there's just no better purpose than that. So I'm super grateful for the evolution to take like a local brand and really push it out on a national scale.
That is awesome. So if somebody's listening to this, so like, I gotta get in this lady's world. I gotta figure out how I can work with her, do business with her. What's the single greatest way for people to connect with you?
So I would follow me on Facebook. So I am not, don't do the public figure, go Lauren Taylor, the personal Facebook profile. I would follow me, quite frankly, because if you try to friend me, I have like 900 friend requests that I have not gone through. So if you're one of those 900, I apologize. But just follow me. I put my entire life online. It's all public, from me to my Basset Hound Bacon to my boys doing crazy things. So, and I regularly check my messenger. So just shoot me a message.
That is awesome. Well, Lauren, thank you so much for swinging by and adding so much value to our podcast today. It was awesome to have you on. I really appreciate it.
Always. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And you guys that are listening to this, I appreciate you more and more and more every single day. Thank you for tuning into the Marketing Genius podcast. I will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.